What's good with y'all? You are once again tuned into Reishi Radio, the soulless podcast of all time. For, of course, Bleach Rebirth the Souls. I'm your host, Jig. Actually, scratch that. We're your hosts, the young black bulls who'd easily black your favorite Bleach girl, Jig and Lee, in the spot, in the building, about to talk about the most obvious news. I mean, I don't even need to explain to you what we're going to talk about. Because Aizen trailer just dropped. Let's go.
The GOAT.
The GOAT
Gotta talk
himself
about it, man. We gotta talk about it.
finally decided to grace his presence like 20 characters later, and it's okay because, well, I mean, we have been waiting for him for this long. We thought he was going to come out like characters ago, but we glad that we got him now, and boy, do he look technical. So let's not waste any
Oh
time,
man.
and let's just let's unpack this boy real quick. Because damn, the one thing I was hoping for was that Aizen be technical. I ain't accepting anything less. I ain't accepting a basic character because that's not Aizen if he's simple. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, 1000%. Like it's not if Aizen isn't super duper technical, he's not Aizen. Like that's 1000%. I'm surprised the direction they went. I'm not going to lie, but I'm still glad that he is going to be on the like resource heavy side. And I do wonder if he's going to be so strong towards the latter half that he's going to be considered like an easier to use character with their ease of use scale, or if his
Mm.
technicality is going to be so overpowering that it's going to put him on the lower end of ease of use. I hope he's on the lower end, honestly. I hope it's
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
you got to have big brain strats to be able to use him, you know?
And you got it. It's Aizen. You got to suffer to play him as well. It's not Aizen unless you feel like he's betraying you when you pick him up on the sticks. The one thing that stands out to me is they were going to either go two routes. The hard route, which I was thinking, where they find a way to incorporate a bunch of spells and you rotate through them like Nine the Phantom, whereas it becomes complicated to, or Asuka from, well, that one game, where you just can't keep up with which Hado you're going to put out next. But I'm glad they didn't because
Right.
they went the easy route, which is the more you fight with them, the higher your all spark power will be.
W all spark power for sure. Yeah. That's interesting. He has his what is that what is his first awakening called? Not his awakening, but his first transformation called where he fuses with it. Does that have a name?
It does. I just call it the butterfly just to remember.
Yeah, cuz that dude, like that's we have four levels of Aizen to play as with this one
Hmm.
character. Like this is insane. This is
I mean,
absolutely insane.
if you think about the levels you got, not counting the awakening, when he puts the shiesty over his whole body, the white shiesty over his whole body, he becomes more of a it just looks like he's faster and like somewhat stronger. But the question is, his base powers, how do they play when he gets spiked per level? Me personally, I'm thinking as is, when you get hits, whenever he does that special one, you basically can't damage him until like that guard meter, you deplete that. Then he's invincible. But I feel like if he's like at level one with the whole shiesty, then it takes a lot longer to deplete him, bro. Like it's kind of annoying.
Right. And I'm wondering too, like when he puts the shiesty on, how does that actually change his defensive stats? I'm assuming just based off of some of the techniques that he has, that he is going to be an absolute tank. So does he get even tankier? Is he sacrificing some of the tankiness for more attack power and speed? Like what changes specifically? That's my
Right.
question.
Because he already looks like a bastard as is.
Oh
As
man,
expected
he
of
is
our
going.
Aizen. What I did
I,
notice, actually, one thing other than his speed, his power, his range. You know the red spinny attack that we all call the kick on move from now? That red attack. That thing goes from like 10 to 50 kilometers, 10 to 50 yards, whichever metric you want to use. That thing got distance now.
yeah,
Like it's hard to
he
escape,
he is
especially when you're trying to
smooth.
backstep him. Like, ugh.
Yeah, he is absolutely schmoove, and you're right. If you, because you're, I highly doubt you're going to be able to backstep that at all. Like if you use backstep to try to get out of that, you're going to get caught. So you might have to bust out some of that reverse meter and use your flash step to just get behind him, or just
Yeah.
hope you don't get caught in the first place. Because that to me is just you. You're absolutely right. I didn't even realize that he is swinging that thing. Like god
Mm-hmm.
dang.
As is, the first thing I'm thinking is he has to at least be weak to side steps. Not
Has
back
to. Yeah.
steps,
No.
not forward steps, side steps.
Yeah, yeah, that is the one movement I'm thinking because he looks like he's very straightforward with a lot of his attacks, especially when he
Exactly.
transforms too.
Because if you think about it, there are very few characters who are hard to sidestep. Like it becomes more of a Tekken mind game. Whereas when you have to deal
Mm,
with a certain button or special move, you have to know which way to dodge depending on which move you know is gonna come out, right? Like Kenpachi or Byakuya
right,
are very rounded, and they actually do lose to more Byakuya loses to forward steps because his symbol in Zakura has a safe zone, which looks lore accurate, where if you get close, you won't get hit with the pedals. Or
right,
Kenpachi, whereas he slashes an arc. Aizen is just shooting forward because that boy only think about moving forward.
exactly. Never look back, always forward. All he's looking straight through you, and that's exactly where those attacks are going.
All that brain and he still don't know how to turn. Couldn't be me. Oh,
It's
I
like the
remember
Zoolander movie. Yeah,
exactly like this letter. Why, bro? I'm gonna meme mug every Aizen main when you get online. That could be a meme. I don't know where the SFM artists are. I'm just hearing. I am just imagining Aizen as Owen Wilson and Ben Stiller's like I don't know Ichigo or Renji, and Renji mains when they have to deal with an Aizen on cue, and you just see that oh who is she? And it's just Aizen there in slow motion like you're about to lose, cut. Like, Aizen, I just don't want to fight them. I don't. And I know that one, they're y'all Aizen mains who are ecstatic right now. Here's where we really learn how committed you are to this character. Knowing how good or bad his complications may be. Either he hands you wins on a silver platter when he's at full Hogyoku fusion, full soul orb, whatever, or it's like a chore to play him. You know what I mean?
right, right, yeah. I'm hoping I'm not honestly, I'm hoping that it's going to be a chore to play him
I
up
agree.
until you get to like a certain, let's say like his last stage or second to last stage. That's when you're like, okay, I got this. But I really do hope it's going to be a chore to play him and people aren't going. It's not, it's fun because you win and do damage. It's not fun because you press button and win. You know what I mean?
Exact. Yeah. What's rough is we haven't seen his signature move though. They're doing that thing where they show two moves and they leave one missing so that you can find out for yourself.
Yep. Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely gonna have to go over that with the advanced breakdowns.
for sure.
But my my like spidey senses tingled when I saw his I think it's his spiritual pressure move one, where he just is like, okay, I understand you're attacking me, but why do I care? And
Exactly.
he's just
Special one. That's exactly
poising
what's on.
through like that to me is going to be insane because if he keeps this after he gets the shiesty on too, and after he awakens and goes even further, that's going to be disgusting. You
Right.
mean there's no hit stun? Because when they said knockback, at first I thought they meant like, oh, you couldn't get hit with a Keycon move, but they literally mean like you're not based off of what happened in the video, you are poising through everything
Right.
casually. So
I'm already
how
thinking
do
of all
you
the
like
yeah, I'm already thinking of the counterplay. My first idea
right?
is you gotta use at least some kind of multi-hit move, which everybody has. And the first
Mm,
multi-hit moves are all the meter moves. Like everybody's meter moves at least do multi-hits. I feel like that'll delete the guard gauge free. But doing a block string, I'm just worried. I hope they're not doing something like he can tank through hit stun, like what Kenpachi does for his signature move. But instead of
Right.
like waiting and then countering, he can just walk through. And if you're doing a string, he can just hit the light and tank through it. There are very few people who can play out his range and like delete it slowly, but it's got to be
Right.
like it's got to freeze him when you hit him.
Like something, because I'm thinking that if you do have mobility through, like, you literally can just be like, nice hit, let me just hit you back, and it just doesn't matter. Obviously you're still going to take damage. I'm thinking this is like a 5 second Mario Star type of situation where, like,
Exactly.
if you have, you know what I mean, like, it cannot last extremely long. Like, it has to last just long enough for you to poise through like a couple of hits. You know what I mean? Like, I could not see this being so busted that you have this up for like 20 or 30 seconds. And like, say you have full guard meter, you have this up for 20 or 30 seconds and you can just poise through whatever you want. Like, that's just not fair. That's not fair.
It's fucked up. It's bullshit, for lack of a better term. It's gotta actually at least deplete his all spark meter that they didn't show either, because apparently that's
Yes.
another one of his special conditions.
Yes. So I'm thinking that might be what his signature move is probably going to be his, like, his charge for the all spark meter, because honestly, like, no matter what they show us, there's always something when they leave something out that they're like, we're like, dang, I wish they showed us this. Cause say they showed us the signature move and then didn't show us his first or second spiritual pressure move, I think we'd have a completely different impression on the type of character that Aizen is. You know what I mean? So
Right.
I don't I don't know where they're going to go, but I'm assuming what you're saying with it being the all spark meter is absolutely spot on, and it's gonna have something to do with that, because this can't be just something that charges in the background over time. You know what I mean?
It's about time Aizen players learn that ain't nothing free in this world.
Nothing at all.
Well,
You know what? He kind of reminds me of, just based off the little information we have, Father Pucci from JoJo's. What is that? Battle All-Star, whatever that game is. You know what I'm
JoJo's
talking
All
about, where he
Star
has,
Battle. Yeah.
yes, JoJo's All-Star Battle. Yes, that's it. That's kind of the character he reminds me of. Maybe if you can charge the meter, especially like if he's just standing there, because that was his whole gimmick, right? Like, you like take care of the baby, stand, it evolves, and then it evolves again if you stand in place and do your
Exactly.
animation. So I'm I'm thinking it might be like that. Maybe kind of like Ultimate Gohan from Dragon Ball Fighters, where he can charge up his levels. I
Ah,
don't know. I
right,
don't know.
right.
It's just
It does sound like a what you call it, untapped potential or potential unleashed. Yeah, it does. It does.
Potential Unleashed, exactly. That's exactly what it is. It's probably like, we could maybe think of it like Potential Unleashed without the, like, afterwards. You know what I mean, with
Yeah,
that
like it's not a
hitbox.
free hit. Because if you think about how it stacks with the other meter characters that we got so far, Toshiro is rewarded with this meter by being aggressive and the properties of his specials change. Nell is basically like a charge character in fighting games, whereas once you have full charge, she only buffs one of her special moves before she has to charge it again. Grimjow is
Right.
a full-on berserker barrage ass state out of damn. Somebody once told me in my video, what was it, Order Soul, or just Soul in general, where it's like a dragon install, but it's like temporary. But Aizen's more like stacking for the rest of the match, which means he can buff
Right.
up per levels like we're saying, but there's a drawback that they're not telling us. And the one leading drawback outside of his verticality being his strength and his horizontalness being his weakness is,
Hmm.
where's I going with this? Was that his range so far, from what I've seen so far, is garbage.
Absolutely.
Like the only thing I did tell you was that red attack got extra when you put the shiesty on. That's where it stops. His special two,
Right.
garbage hits hit confirm range. The special one, that is just a buff, and we don't even know what a sig is.
Literally. Yeah,
No
you're
way.
right. Even because even once he gets that shiesty on, it's still like he's either a arm or legs distance away from you at all times when he's attacking you. Yeah, and every single attack he has, like his special, what is it, the spiritual pressure 2, that
Yeah,
the actual keto doesn't come out unless that first swipe hits, right?
exactly.
Or I'm sorry, it was Hado. I'm sorry.
Oh, whichever it is.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know
like
somebody
that's
in the comments are gonna
insane.
trip about it again, but who cares? They're all
Who care,
spells.
right? At the end of the day, yeah. Like
But
that,
one,
you're absolutely right. His range is dog water. Oh my goodness.
yeah, he is a Hado master, so it's funny to think how in the show, because of how coddled he is, and he's got to be one of the most plot armor protected villains of all time. His special one literally being plot armor, that the major drawback being that you got to get close to hit them spells, man. Again, ain't nothing free.
Yeah, yeah.
I think that's good because the one thing I wanted is no influx of Aizen mains, which is real good. Aizen mains who just want to pick up and play and mash with them and win for free. Now you got to work for that. If you want to
Right.
win for free, why don't you pick Ichigo, little boy? Have fun with that guy. You you and Aizen are on the same level. You're not worth the same amount. Either you can be on the same amount or be broke forever. And that's that stuff no one ever said.
Ever.
That's just the way of the world, you know? All according to Keiko.
Honestly, dude. Honestly, he genuinely though, like I I gotta agree with you because he genuinely, I don't want him to be in the hands of just like, this might sound gaming elitist, you might say that, but I don't
Mm.
want him to be in the hands of everybody for free, bro. Not
We're
like
scrubs.
monetarily for free, but like skill wise, bro. Exactly, exactly. Like I want him to be a scrub proof. Like you cannot be a scrub and play him. Like you gotta actually be good at the game, understand the mechanics, understand like how to play to be able to pull off what he wants to pull off. I'm kind of
Man.
scared thinking about if his signature move is the charge because if you think about this, think about this.
Yeah. Talk.
Spiritual pressure move 1 lets him just poise through whatever attack he wants, right?
Right.
So what happens if he pops his spiritual, let's say it's the worst case scenario and it lasts like 30 seconds.
I'm hearing
Let's
you.
say he pops his spiritual pressure 1 and then just starts using his signature ability to charge his Hogyoku, his all spark fusion, and you just can't do anything about it.
Huh.
How do you play against that? Like how do you stop him if he's genuinely like
Ah.
poising through every single attack? Like what is the counterplay there?
The counterplay. Ooh. Bob and weave will basically be useless. Mashing
Right.
against him will be useless. Blocking is useless unless you don't have
Right.
a guard gauge to block him. Dodging is useless unless, oh, dodging. But then once he catches up, then what? I think the best way,
Exactly.
yeah, the best way to play against him is to play out of his range. But then when I think about it again, because of how he's already looking broken, and now the influx of content will be everybody's first low level impression of him being broken, like they say with everybody else, is bringing in the potential, the possibility of his lightning Hado being his signature move
Mm.
and that being a projectile to
Mm.
stop you from running away.
Oh my goodness. No.
It has to. It's one of his more iconic spells that he uses
Oh.
consistently. What they say in the show? Oh, he did that high level spell without an incantation. Yeah, okay, cool. That's
Yeah.
lightning in
Yep.
a bottle that he's using.
Yeah.
And that's annoying.
You're absolutely right. If they give him for his signature, if they give him something like that, that is going to be a tough time to get away from. Like you just genuinely gotta like hope and
Yeah, like
pray
what do
that
you
they don't know
do?
how to use the button. Like, you know,
Yeah,
like
I'm hoping you gotta have a brain to at least know when to use it. I'm hoping it has to have a huge window
exactly.
and know how to punch. Because the one thing that's nice about Aizen and with most characters is they really play into their animations. I may have a few
Right.
issues with some idols and how all of them look like they're standing, which is boring. I don't care if the some nerd tells me, "Oh, they're standing there because they got aura. That's why they're standing so boring." I don't care, bro. At least have some flavor
Right.
to it. But with his animations, he swings the sword lazy because everything is so easy to him, so it actually makes sense.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
he'd be so cocky as to shoot his signature projectile, but then it'll have mad recovery. It has to. Like you can't be firing it like a Hadoken all the time. You gotta at least know when to
It
shoot it
has
out.
to.
Because if it's gonna be a beam, it's gotta
Right.
be a beam that you gotta you're gonna get punished for if bro's close enough. Not even that close. Like bro could be mid range and still hit that 2 pointer clean. It's like a
Absolutely. Yeah,
close
cuz
range free
that,
kick,
that
you know?
yeah. Cuz he has to, bro. Like that's I feel like you're absolutely right and it's just like you can't throw out whatever you want. You have to just know when to throw it out. Cuz that's exactly what Aizen would do. He'd hit you with whatever he sees is most fit in that moment. And it's not going to be too much. It's not going to be too little. It's going to be just exactly what's needed.
Yeah,
But he might, underestimate you as a person and not give you enough damage or leave himself open long enough or whatever, but it's all just an
exactly.
illusion the entire time. You know what I
All
mean?
part of the
Like it's
plan.
just but
Yeah.
like in the game, it's all part of the plan. Like in the game, you actually just hit him though, obviously. But like I get exactly what you're saying. Yeah, because it's like in the game, he has those he'll have those wide swings or wide openings after his attack strings, and you could just punish unless he has you know what? Maybe that's why he has that little guard gauge cannibalism move he has because his moves leave him so open afterwards that it's
Yeah,
just
there we
like you
go.
got to be able to have something to mitigate that, like
And
maybe that's more so a balancing.
another thing we're not mentioning so soon is he will probably take damage, even if his guard gauge will deplete them. Like using
Absolutely.
the more he blocks, the more guard gauge he'll have for a special move one to burn, right? But he'll still
Right.
take damage that look like chip whenever he's swung against, even when he's armored. You feel? Because there's no way you
Absolutely.
won't take damage like that.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, it cannot. I refuse to believe it's like 100% invincibility
I
when
second
you
that.
activate this move. Yeah, like that's not no. That's just not even that just turns it into a completely different game at that point. That is not a competitive fighting game mechanic in my opinion. That's just
Yeah.
like I don't know, bro. That's
Then
like
we have to take a step back from that.
Smash
But I
Bros.
doubt they'll
I
do
don't
that.
know.
Because me personally, if that's gonna be his high risk, high reward, one shot ass move that not even Bankai Ichigo has, I'd be like, yo, if you're gonna use that special move one and know what to do with it, the more guard gauge damage you're tanking through, when that finishes in those few seconds, if you get hit, you're taking double damage. I'm gonna be annoying like that.
Ooh. Yeah.
I-
Yep.
if you throw that
Cuz
willy
it's
nilly
like you
thinking
can
that you
just
could tank, bro, like cause nah.
'cause, yeah, if you just waste out that entire time or you go through and bust whatever time he has left up when you hit him, he's wide open for a Keycon move right there, a guard break Keycon move because he literally has no guard. You just hit him twice, hit him with that red spinny attack, and then boom, there's like what, two or three souls gone right there. Just right there.
Exactly. Exactly. Because
Mm,
already you're using that move to uh deplete the Kiko moves, right? To basically tank through it so that you
right.
can tank through and maybe deplete the guard gauge for free or just get free tacked on damage for free or quote unquote, by the way. I'm doing them
Exactly.
air bunnies with my fingers. But once that's over, it's like you're leaving yourself wide open. You feel that guard gauge, it ain't saving you. Like, how you gonna block now, cuh?
Right.
That ain't happening.
And then another thing too is I don't think the guard gauge replenishes like fast either without you using your reverse action. So after you use this, he's going to be without his spiritual pressure one technique for a long time until that guard gauge starts building back up or you use your reverse action.
Huh. Another thing is if that's missing and you can't use a special move one, I mean, unless people really stack on the meter because some moves take 1 bar and some moves take two. It's
Right.
better to take two, so you can't spam it. Is once that guard gauge
Absolutely. Yeah.
is
Absolutely.
broken, right? How do you use the special move
Yeah.
one if you can't block or use it? Like what happens?
Right. I don't I think, maybe either it gets disabled entirely or that's when you go into your awakening or, transform into your fusion mode, whatever.
Right,
That's when you use that, and then possibly it'll change your move set again, so your spiritual pressure 1 isn't that, it's something else, you know?
right. It might switch unless he just burned meter for nothing and he just shakes his head at you. That'd actually be pretty
That's
funny. You just look at
crazy.
the
Yeah,
eyes and minds like, bro, you say
yeah.
I got no guards. I am very disappointed in you. Like, yo. But that's unlikely. There'll probably be some BS mechanic, whereas instead of guard depleting, the special move bar will deplete instead. And
Mm,
it's a
yeah, that would
possibility.
be
It would be hella annoying, that's for sure.
uh
Aizen,
What do
man.
you think about his, awake
His his awakening. Hmm. What they say his awakening does
yeah,
again? Let me remind myself. For the listeners only. Let me. It's the one where he pops what we are calling the Allspark, the soul orb that makes him more powerful.
yep,
What does it say? Oh, I got it. The performance is enhanced by the progress of the fusion of the Hogyogu and reaching to an existence that has exceeded natural. That's lore nonsense, whatever. It takes time to reach the awakening state, but. Oh, right. His is slower than everybody else. But compared to the other characters, Aizen's status will dramatically increase and he'll be able to mighty power.
right.
I'm not gonna lie to you, that's vague. I think it just spikes
That's
his it's vague. It spikes his from my first understanding reading this, watching this was the the spark meter just rises faster and all his moves are basically better because he fired like a one finger zero with that thing and that's where he did the 3 point shot the damn free
Mm,
kick with the red spinny attack. So it's just like an enhance on all his
right.
moves. It, I want to think that the meter will be unnecessary entirely if you're not in base, but I think it just fills faster so that you have extra power.
Okay, because that was my question too. Like, how does the meter play into the awakening as well? Like, does it based on how full that meter is when you use your awakening? Are you stronger in your awakening, or like, is it just once you go into your awakening, that meter is gone entirely, and now it's just about getting to your reawakening? Like,
Right.
what's the meta? What's the game plan there? You know?
Like, what is the play, Tamsoft? What are you hiding from us, dog?
Yeah. What are you hiding?
What are you hiding?
Why are you closed?
What? I do want to think that it's just a all around buff, but then he's just pulling out new tricks with his awakening. Like he becomes an entirely like everybody else, an entirely new character. But this one, he's basically making up for that one mistake where I was saying range. So I'd want to think he's
Yeah.
sacrificing power, but I don't think that's I don't think that's happening. They just want to make a BS boss type character since he is kind of the
Yeah.
villain of the franchise.
He is the boss. Yeah, he is the end game boss for where they're going up to. So yeah.
Well, until Yuvok, but well, he was there for like 366 episodes, so that's Aizen. And he was folding Yamamoto, who we thought we were gonna get a double trailer for, but it's whatever. We'll just see him on Monday.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. I want to say shout out to Owlflame because he was like, we're probably not going to get the double trailer,
Hmm.
but we know who we're gonna get. I'm like, hey, listen, that makes my job of editing for the content creation a little bit easier. So
Fair
at least we
game.
still have some stuff to talk about with Aizen, you know?
For sure. On the next episode of Reishi Radio, we're gonna get that free breakdown. It's not like I bring you on to this episode to give everybody a free advanced breakdown before the advanced breakdown. We're just bouncing off material. At this point, we got our
Exactly.
overcomplicated, tricky, technical ass character. So I don't know how they outdo this now that they dropped in.
Yeah, honestly. I think this is who do we get after this that's gonna be more hype, bro? Like I don't know. Maybe Stark for some people, but genuinely I don't know.
Damn, Stark before like Halibo? That's crazy.
Listen, listen. All I'm saying is I hope we get the beach costume set when Haribo drops. That's all I'm
Yes,
saying.
sir, yes, sir. We will get it. Only for the good boys and girls. We will be patient and we will be rewarded with hella beaches. What else we got? Um, I mean, we got all the info. We don't have all the information we need. At least we got Aizen, because of course he's gonna make base. What? How do you think they finna do Yamamoto? What kind of archetype will he have?
Mm. Honestly, I want to think of him as like I want to say a more mobile version of Kimpachi. Like instead of if you take the tanky aspect from Kimpachi and you put it towards DPS and mobility,
Hmm,
that's what I'm thinking.
that actually works. Like a mobile tank. Like who are the mobile tanks? Like the
Yeah,
damn Junker Queens, wifey from another game. And compared to the other bigger guys like Winston and Orisa, who have very slow movement speed but have really janky movement options that boost their speed, like Kenpachi kind of does.
hmm
JQ is more like she's already moving, but then your tanky aspect is more like tanking yourself. And I feel like instead of
mm,
using like a Kenpachi parry where you hold the signature button, he just has armor on the special moves, you know?
yeah,
Not
that
like not
would
like
be
not like
okay. That would
Aizen
be
natural buff, you know, but
no,
not like
right, right,
Kenpachi like a parry, but you do the special move, you will tank through the move.
exactly. Like you're just gonna eat it, kind of like how what Broly is when he grabs people in Dragon Ball Fighters and
Precisely.
what is that Dragon Ball Z Broly, right?
Yeah. Z Broly's command grab
Yeah,
has at least oh, and his charge. Most of his special moves and one of his normals, I believe, has multiple hits of armor. At least one, two
got
are
you. Yeah,
super armor. It's ridiculous. He might work the same way. Because not a lot of characters have armor in their moves. I mean, they do have reversals. They're mostly counters, whereas you get hit, you strike back. Or you'll have
right,
a few hits of invincibility, like with Ichigo's DP. But him, it's more like you just do the move, and no matter how much you get hit, I don't think it'll do much. So, which means you got to just move out the way, follow up with a chase dash, delete him.
right.
You'll have a move for everything. It'll be fun.
Absolutely, dude. That's the one thing I am super like. I don't want to use the word proud, but like I'm proud of the direction this game is going in. Genuinely, just like as a Bleach fan and as a fighting game fan, like uh, I'm super happy with the love it seems like each character is getting, like individually. And honestly, I'm gonna cry when this game comes out, bro. Like I
Stop
don't
it.
know,
Stop
man.
it.
Like
It
this
ain't
just
even come out yet. Save the tears for when the start screen finally hits your screen. I
oh my goodness, that's going to be a legendary moment.
That's when we really know if this game was worth it. Because I already know them pre-orders are solidified all around. I know you did for sure. I'm going to,
Yeah.
and before the December for sure. Basically, we're all locked in with pre-orders. They just better peak the peak.
Peak.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that's Aizen, y'all. Uh, looking as nonsense and ridiculous as we all expected for our March 21st, 2025 release date when we get Bleach Rebirth of Souls. Other than
Mm.
that, if this Aizen character is actual nonsense that just breaks the rules of arena fighters with no way to defeat him, I'm sure 2XK will have a home for us. That is unlikely because, well, those are two very different games, and this one is looking to break the mold for arena fighters, despite the fact that today, Demon Slayer 2 got announced.
Ooh.
What, did I just sap the energy out the podcast just by unleashing that?
Ooh.
I thought you knew, right? You
Ooh,
already knew.
Demon Slayer. Demon Slayer 2, bro. Ooh,
Demon
I don't.
Slayer 2.
I might I might have to pick those sticks up too. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie. I slept on the first one. I watched a lot of content about it and a lot of like really good people playing the game, but I slept on it. I was like, it just seems like a like Storm with more love to me. So
For good reason, you see. I mean, you slept on it
yeah,
for good reason. All the
yeah.
casuals played it for like what was it, a week? I remember I was watching this one cosplayer, the funny guy who did the meme where he jumped at Nezuko, she sidestepped, he fell on his face. Bro was in it for like a week for the story mode. Tried ranked once, never touched it again. Then all like the
Dang.
hardcores were with it, and like any other arena fighter, unfortunately, it died out in a year, which is what we're hoping doesn't happen
Right.
with Bleach Rebirth the Souls. The thing with Demon Slayer 2 is, for starters, they have all the Hashra in it. Can't wait to see how they all play. Second,
Hmm.
for some reason, I didn't even see them flex CC2's logo. It's pure on the publisher, Sega. I guess they gave them all the assets for it. Thirdly, for this is their chance to rival this Bleach game and fix all the mistakes that they made in the first game. Because, bruh, as fun as this game tries to be, this Demon Slayer game got a whole lot of mistakes. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, there seems to be a lot of things that people felt the need to fix in their own free time versus the game actually coming out with like updates that fix those things. I've seen a lot of people have to mod characters for them to play like how they quote unquote should play. And I've seen a lot of
Mm-hmm.
good mods for the game that make the game like seem a lot more palatable as well. But yeah, it just from the outside looking in, it didn't seem like that game was going to speak to me nearly the same way that something like this Bleach Rebirth of Souls did is or like Dragon Ball Fighters did for me.
It's got to speak to the people.
So
That's the main
hopefully
thing.
absolutely. Hopefully the once we start getting some more information about the second one, hopefully it's because you know I picked up the anime, I picked up Demon Slayer, I
Mm-hmm.
got indoctrinated in the culture, so to say. So,
As you
I'm
know,
excited. If it looks good, I'll play it. If it looks good, I'll play it.
yeah, I probably will. I mean, the leading factor that got well, the leading factor that got people out vested of this game is community support and how
Mm,
infrequent patches were. And I'm not saying that people should be patching games daily, weekly, monthly, but at least
right,
let them know that their voices are heard until a certain next DLC update that they unleash a patch. But even then, they wouldn't do that, and they would just hush hush. Tamsoft,
right,
they gotta at least listen to the community, hear what they want to, which is they feel is necessary for the game, which we all agree on. Or if it's a dumb idea, they won't do it. But otherwise, they'll fix something entirely new that we didn't know was a problem, and we'll be thankful for. It's a video game. They got to be as interactive with the community as possible, especially if it does have an online mode.
right. Absolutely.
They gotta really step up because Demon Slayer, if they actually start being in tune and have community updates, yo, if they do what like Hoyoverse, that game, them motherfuckers don't even have online like that. This is a long-term single player action RPG for filthy casuals, and they stay in touch with their community. For all their horny anime games, they stay in touch with the peeps and be like, what's good, what's not. I'm about to show you something pretty that you're gonna put thousands of money into for a PNG alone. And these guys, for characters that play entirely different from each other and interact in weird ways, they don't want to patch that. Nah, that
Right.
don't bode well with me. Yes, they gotta patch that stuff, bro. When the opportunity arises. That's the main thing I'm hoping that they get in tune. Because once Demon Slayer does that, then the wars of us versus them, even though this is not Bloods and Crips with damn video games, like everybody keeps tuning, it's not gatekeeping, it's not an anime war. We're all winning with these anime games. We're gonna play both anyway.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, every time we get a good see, this is the thing, like, I have no problem with us getting good anime games, you know what I mean? Like, I think that we're in the era of companies not wanting their product associated with trash. I mean, you get the, you get the bigger companies like Pokemon who just don't care anymore because they make billions hand over fist every single day, but it's just like
Lazy Game Freak.
these smaller, exactly, just lazy, exactly, lazy, rushed, unfinished nonsense mess. Like I think that these, I don't want to use the word smaller because I'm comparing them to like literal giants, but like on the smaller end compared to things like Pokemon or like Call of Duty or like 2K, Madden, things like that. These smaller companies and franchises and IPs don't want their products associated with garbage or just like cash grab. You know what I mean? Like I think
Yeah.
we're past that point and that
Yes.
people's voices online are being heard even if it seems like things aren't being done. If there's something else in the future, they might be more willing to listen. And I hope that that is what that is going to turn into with this new Demon Slayer game.
It's the power of the internet, dog. They'll have no choice. Unfortunately, back
Have
in the
no
day,
choice. Exactly.
they felt like they could ignore it as long as they could until the next game where they trick us into giving them more money as the consumers the
Hmm.
flow goes. This time, not as much. People have their voices. People have a choice. Of course, they'll make their money off of the game, but the more we show them that there's if they show us passion, we'll give back that passion in droves. And yes, we'll include
Exactly.
dollar signs with it. Nowadays, at least we're more
Ex-
honest with it, you know.
mhm.
Luckily, I feel like they might actually learn to basically be in the same group, the same boat with all of us, so that it's a more fun experience all around. In terms of content too, I mean, think about what we might get. We might get the damn, even though we still know it's a far cry for them to have their little world tour where you run around with the characters in little hub worlds. It could be a possibility. For sure, there's got to be an arcade mode where Aizen's the final boss.
Yeah.
That could be a
Yep.
possibility. They could what else could they do? Co-op is unlikely because they said 1 to 2 players, which I'm now realizing. Which they might make that soul essence nonsense for like story upgrades because they might make it RPG-esque. But
Right.
multiple season passes down the roadmap, they
There's
shattered
got to be. Oh
expectations.
yeah. Yeah. There's got to be. I'm thinking this game is gonna get like 3 to 4 years of solid support. I mean, honestly, I didn't think Kakarot was gonna get the support that it got for as long as it got it. It's
Nobody
still
did.
getting, DLC game. Like it was insane to me that like because I thought that they were going to stop what like 1 or 2 DLCs ago, like they just
Yeah.
kept going. So I think they companies want that like longevity with their games now. So I'm thinking we might see another one, 3, 4 years from now, maybe 4 or 5, depending on how long it takes to develop. So we'll see.
And if it survives long enough, this might be the first arena fighter to last for 2 years actively without having the community to keep it afloat, like a regular fighting game.
Absolutely. I hope it I hope it gives us the quality of fighters, but it doesn't go the fighters route where like they just genuinely stop supporting the game with like the same level of support over time and started focusing on other things, you know?
I mean, when the time frame ended, you could see why they did it. Last DLC lab code dropped, and they're like, "Well, there goes our roadmap. There, we did our world tour. It was fun while it lasted. On to Fighters 2 or something, whichever they're doing now."
Right, exactly. Hopefully, yeah. If we get a fighters too, bro. Oh my goodness.
It's gonna be fire. Trust. I don't know how they can overhaul the graphics, but it's going to make everybody's eyes pop like rainbows. You just look at the stark
Absolutely.
differences between game jumps. Look how pretty our game looks. Why doesn't Arena Fighter have graphics like this? What's up with y'all, Bleach? Y'all made Senran. Look at the jump from Senran Kaka to the Bleach. They know how to animate. The titty booty physics were there.
Exactly.
And then you look at Aizen's hair flowing like damn grass in a meadow, and they got the jiggle physics here too. I noticed because I
Absolutely.
noticed.
we pay attention to every frame of these trailers as content creators. So yeah, no,
Mm-hmm.
I get it. I get it.
And we are male. We notice y'all females. We do listen. We do appreciate y'all. Do not worry. But otherwise, nah. We're chilling with the aesthetics and mechanics. Mechanics, we're not sure yet because it's a very different fighting game, but eh, there's
Mhm.
not much to worry about.
Yeah, the only thing, genuinely, the only thing I'm worried about with this game is how repetitive are the combo strings going to be when it comes to the buttons you're pressing? Like, is it
You
going
read
to be
my
the
mind.
sparking zero? You know what I mean? Like, is it gonna be like a Tekken Fighters type of thing, or is it gonna be like a Sparking Zero Storm type of thing where you're just kind of like, you know, square, 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 triangle.
Bro,
Not even that. It's like 8 squares and then 2 triangles. And you know what I mean? It's like it's
yeah, I
just I
know.
zone out. I can't even get it. I like the multiple, like you do like the square, triangle, square, square, circle, up, input, left, back, quarter circle, forward. Like all those inputs in the thing make me remember it easier than just like mashing the same button and then pressing triangle at the end of it. You know what I mean? So I just hope it's not going to take the lazy route when it comes to that, and we get like genuine combos with like genuine complexity, multiple routes, you know what I mean, like B&Bs, everything like that, not just like I mean, this combo works the best sometimes, so I throw it out, you know what I mean, like I don't want it to be that type of game.
Feels like we might actually do the alternate button string route from what we've seen already. The animations kind of flow into each other depending on which button you press. We do gotta
Right.
go at least a single podcast without mentioning Sparking Zero, though. Not gonna lie. However, that's the one thing I've been thinking. The one disadvantage that might play into a weird way. Do you think combos are look too simple, Lee? Do you think combos look too simple?
I'm gonna be completely honest with you. In the or it wasn't even the trailer, it was the gameplay showcase that we got where it was like the clearly like the devs fighting each other in a way that was kind of scripted out.
Yeah.
I thought the combo structure there may be complex enough, but when I see more like regular people playing the game and
Yeah.
with just the entire team and with the way that some of the strings look against what I assume are either practice dummies or story mission characters. I don't know. I'm like, how how complex is this really? Like I genuinely I think there's levels. I'm gonna be like my 1000% honest opinion is I
Mm.
think that there's levels. There's like a basic, maybe you could call it an auto combo system where you can just mash a button and then mash another button if you want. And then on top of that, there's going to be autonomy within those auto combos where you can switch things up and, kind of like how Fighters does it. That's what I'm hoping.
Yeah,
But they
yeah, yeah,
might
yeah.
genuinely just go the straight auto combo route, dude. Like I don't want that.
Auto combos will exist. It's for the simplicity for the people who just want to just play a bleach game, you know? We can't do nothing about that. And there's not much too
Absolutely,
wrong.
yeah.
You just can choose not to press it. And
Yeah,
they are,
because that
yeah, they
was a lot of
are
people's.
doing the fighters
Go
route, you
ahead.
saw.
Okay.
Pretty much it's gonna be like fighters. What you gonna say?
No, I was gonna literally just bring up Fighters and ask, like, is it going to be like that? So yeah, you answer my question. That's
For example,
it's
yeah.
great minds, Spider-Man pointing, bro. Like that, literally just on the same wavelength right there.
You're reading my mind. No, you're the one pointing. You're reading. Stop reading my mind. Damn it. If you think about it on the fighter's route, I could just bring up a visual way for everybody to envision what I'm trying to put across. Think we're on Cell Games Arena. Look, it's Super Saiyan
Mhm.
Goku, the original character, the one with the spiky yellow hair. You know him. You know his auto combo. Punch, punch, and he does a kick, right? That's one string. You press square
Right.
twice. I mean, three times. Now We do the BMB, square, square, down, triangle, triangle. You did the sweep, you did the elbow,
Yep.
we're doing an air combo. Or you want to do something really weird. You do square, square, triangle, you do the elbow first, then you do down triangle, you do the low sweep. That's what they're doing. Depending on where you are with your strings, I saw in the gameplay demo, Ichigo does like a simple swipe combo for all the squares, and for his heavy, he
Hmm.
does big swings. The second heavy is like when he swipes you for two hits, right? To get to that two hit,
Hmm.
you could just press the light button once, and then when you press triangle, he'll switch straight into that second hit.
Mm.
It'll remember your place. There is a
Right.
tree. It's not like you can go square and beat it directly into triangle. No, no, no. There is a combo tree that you have to remember and follow,
Okay.
which I feel like it's for mixing up your timing to catch bursts and off reversals, or trying to switch up going into breaking the guard meter fast. If you're changing your mind, you don't want the damage, you want the guard.
Right.
Or, oh no, I don't want to do triangle anymore because I feel like he's going to read it. Let me do a light, maybe dodge out of it. Options.
Right. Exactly. And that's all. Yeah. That's if we can get something like that, then I will. This game will be perfect to me, and it will be what Fighters was to me when that first came out. Again, just 3D like that. That
Just
oh my
3D,
gosh,
bro.
that would be perfectly fine. Just 3D. Yeah. 3D fighters. That's what I've been calling it every now and again, 3D fighters, but
Mm.
I don't want to keep saying that cuz I don't think it won't play exact. It's not even the same format to play exactly like fighters.
Nope.
Like that's not what I mean when I say that. I
It's
more so
different
mean
like that.
like what fighters did for the community. You know what I mean? Like what game did we have like fighters before fighters that had the exact same impact on the community? Maybe a Marvel versus Capcom game, but it still wasn't like because it at the end of the day, because it wasn't Dragon Ball and because it didn't look as pretty, it wasn't the same. It didn't have the same impact, you know?
But it's still Marvel, baby. It was all up to the community
Exactly.
in the end. But Dragon Ball, those guys, now the producers stuck with us. Shout out Mama Hiroki.
Super shout
Suzuki-san, we
out.
want that same energy, you know?
Absolutely.
Real quick, Suzuki. Now I'm fucking up his name. Real quick, Suzuki-san, please add a stage with crowds in it. The one thing that irks me in these fighting games
Ooh.
is when stages do not feel alive. I get it, Bleach, we fight in a lot of barren wastelands in the sky, but sometimes, even in Dragon Ball and Naruto and all these other games, they just cut corners to like, bro, I just want an arena stage with a crowd in it, bro. Can we do that?
Yeah.
Yes, and they just do that.
Like when Kenpachi fought the original captain for his seat and there was an audience of 200 Soul Reapers, like
In that
literally
dojo,
just a stage of that. Literally,
yeah, just make
exactly.
that
The
a stage. I
dojo, yes.
agree. They should do that for
So
sure.
yeah,
Because if
they
I don't,
should easily like they can.
and they should be getting hype in the background, doing their generic yeah animations, and you could just hear the
Right.
crowd if you stop. Because just fighting in barren wastelands all the time just makes the game feel like slowly dead. Have a
Right.
Pokemon Stadium too. Let that dojo be RPS too. We shall see if they do that. I mean, fingers crossed. That's wishful thinking. And another
Yeah, that's
one,
definitely on the wish list, yeah.
yeah, it's on the wish list. And another one is to have like chibis in the games in some way or form, just for that cutesy aspect. That's a story for another time. I'm not gonna lie to you. This game just bleeds
Mm.
cool, and having that
It
cute
does,
aspect
bro.
is just nah.
Maybe
So
maybe the character avatars for when you're fighting people, when you have your icons, your avatars, your banners, all
yeah,
that, maybe some of those could be chibi.
yeah. On second thought, it would be a little too Arxis, but I'm not saying that for like the lobby. Just imagine like a chibi just chilling, like a chibi of damn, I don't know, anybody just chilling in their own unique way on your name card. Like Kiraku, he's sleeping on the name card.
That'd be
Rukia is
sick,
like
yeah.
meditating on it. Renji is trying to cut it in half. Aizen is just staring at you from behind. No, Gin is like staring at you with those creepy eyes behind it. Everybody just doing something. Like on the top left, you see your name card, and the chibi's just sleeping on it. You know, with their
That would be
name.
fire. Yeah, that would be absolutely fire. I like that. That would be sick, dude. No, that's a good idea. I hope they do something like that, and it's not just like red, blue, yellow,
Yeah,
green. You know
they
what I
can't do
mean?
yeah, red yeah, nah, they can't do a basic UI. Please nah. You gotta make all the colors of the rainbow look pretty with its own unique flair that makes you want to keep looking back at the UI, bro. Because that's how when people pop on the game, that's the first thing we see. Come on now. Let it be
Yeah.
cozy. Let it be unique to each player. I mean, it's a possibility. SoCal, Samsho, Demon Slayer, eat your heart out. We are sword Tekken like in this bitch. Swords on fleek with our pretty cute UIs with the chibi sleeping on top of it. We got those. Y'all got that? No, we got those, y'all. Yeah. Good podcast all around. Reishi Radio, episode 3. Still going strong. Jig and Lee.
Bars.
I mean, there's so much they could add, but, well, we'd be rambling on too long. I think we've taken enough of y'all's time, and we do have a Yamamoto trailer to prepare for next week. So, y'all, from me and Lee, we will see you next Monday. Tell me you're excited to unpack that Aizen trailer in your advanced breakdown, Lee, and that Yamamoto trailer next Monday.
Absolutely super duper excited. I hope everybody can tune into those. Should be dropping the advanced breakdown for Aizen either tomorrow or on Wednesday, so stay tuned. But yeah, man, great being on Reishi Radio. As always, I appreciate it.
You know the
Fuck.
vibes, dog. You can check Lee the Warlord's channel in the title because you can literally click on that ad, check out his advanced breakdowns coming out soon. You don't want to miss it, y'all. This has been Reishi Radio episode 3. Thank you guys for coming out as usual, listening in to this beautiful mess of a podcast for our soulful game. And we will see you next Monday for that Yamamoto trailer. We got so much to talk about, and they better add a lot of training options. Nah, let me stop. Reishi Radio episode 3. Aizen trailer was hot, and Bleach Your Birth of Soul's gonna be fire. Thanks for tuning in, everyone.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.